Welcome to American Accent Unlocked, the podcast dedicated to helping you master the distinct sounds and captivating rhythms of American English. I'm Adam.
And I'm Sarah. We're thrilled you've joined us. Whether your goal is to boost your confidence in daily conversations, make a stronger impact in your professional life, or simply feel more connected and at ease communicating in the United States, you've absolutely come to the right place.
Exactly. We're both linguists with a deep passion for language, phonetics, and helping people like you unlock your clearest, most confident American voice. Today, we're not just scratching the surface, we're diving deep into the art and the science of effective accent modification.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you knew your English grammar and vocabulary were spot on, but your message still seemed to get lost? Or perhaps you've experienced the frustration of frequently being asked to repeat yourself, making conversations feel like a bit of a hurdle.
Many individuals seek accent modification services due to difficulty being understood or the frequent need to repeat oneself.
If any of that resonates with you, stick around. In this episode, we're going to unpack some of the most common and often most challenging pronunciation hurdles for non-native speakers of American English.
And importantly, we'll provide incredibly detailed, practical breakdowns of how to produce those tricky sounds accurately.
That's right. We'll also explore the music of American English. That's the stress, rhythm, and intonation patterns that make speech sound natural and engaging. We'll share powerful exercises you can start using today to make a real difference. And, as a bonus, we'll even touch on how understanding a few common American idioms can add that extra layer of fluency. Plus, we'll discuss the crucial mindset for success on this journey. The challenges in pronunciation are common, and approaching them with a supportive, solutions-oriented mindset can build significant motivation, especially when considering the potential negative feelings that can arise from what is known as accent stigma.
So, Lena, when we talk about an American accent, it's a broad term, isn't it? English is spoken with such a rich tapestry of beautiful variations across the United States and indeed the world.
Absolutely, Eris. And that diversity is something to be celebrated. For the purpose of our discussion today, and for many learners aiming for broad comprehensibility, we'll primarily focus on what linguists often call General American, or Gen M. You can think of this as the accent you typically hear from national news broadcasters in the U.S. or in many mainstream Hollywood films. It's not inherently better than any other accent, but it is widely understood across different regions of the U.S. and is often the target accent in ESL and accent modification programs.
This acknowledges the existence of regional accents, but strategically narrows the focus, providing a clear and practical target for learners.
That's a great clarification. And it leads to a really important point about why someone might choose to work on their accent. It's crucial to understand, as information from the American Speech Language Hearing Association points out, that everyone has an accent. Accents are a natural part of spoken language, intimately tied to our identity, our heritage, and our community.
Exactly. So the goal here isn't accent elimination, a term we and many in the field find outdated, inaccurate, and even a bit disrespectful. Instead, we prefer to talk about accent modification or accent training. This is an elective service sought by individuals who want to change or modify their speech patterns, often to enhance clarity and build confidence. This shift in terminology reflects a more respectful and empowering approach, viewing accent training as skill enhancement rather than correcting a flaw.
And the benefits of this kind of training can be truly significant. When your pronunciation is clearer, it naturally leads to fewer misunderstandings and less frustration for both you and your listener.
This is a key point from research on the importance of accent reduction for improved communication clarity.
Definitely. And that same research also highlights how this clarity can open doors to better professional opportunities. Think about job interviews, delivering presentations, or interacting with clients and colleagues. Being easily understood can significantly boost your performance and your prospects. Beyond the professional realm, it often leads to increased self-confidence in social settings, allowing you to participate more freely and fully in conversations. Clarifying general American as a practical target helps manage expectations and provides a concrete goal, rather than suggesting it is a superior form of English.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the real mechanics of American English sounds. As we start, it's helpful to understand why certain sounds are challenging. Very often, non-native speakers encounter similar pronunciation hurdles, and this is largely because the sound system of their first language, their L1, influences how they perceive and produce English sounds. Linguists call this L1 interference or language transfer.
Exactly. As linguistic studies explain, non-native speakers tend to transfer the intonation, phonological processes, and pronunciation rules of their mother tongue into their English speech. This isn't a mistake or a flaw. It's a natural linguistic process where your brain tries to make sense of new sounds using familiar patterns. Our goal today is to help you build new patterns specific to American English.
Framing difficulties this way as predictable linguistic phenomena rather than personal failings can be very empowering for learners.
American English vowels are notorious. One of the most common areas of confusion, as highlighted in pronunciation guides, is the distinction between long and short vowels. For instance, the short I sound in a word like ship and the long E sound in a word like sheep are often pronounced interchangeably by learners whose native languages might not make this length and quality distinction. Detailed sentence explanation 1. Did the sheep sit on the ship?
Let's break down this sentence. Did the sheep sit on the ship? First, sheep, E, p. For this long E sound, your tongue blade is high and quite far forward in your mouth, almost touching the alveolar ridge, and the sides of your tongue touching your upper side teeth. Your lips should be spread, as if you're about to smile, but not tense. Feel the vibration in your throat. It's a voiced sound. Critically, it's a longer sound. Sh, E, E, p. Try holding it. E. Now, ship, I, p. For this short I sound, your tongue is still relatively high and front, but it's slightly lower and more relaxed, a bit farther back than for E. Your lips are also more relaxed, neutral. It's a shorter, laxer sound. Sh, I, p. Try saying it quickly. I. And sit, I. This has the same short I vowel as in ship. Relaxed, short.
So, to practice, really exaggerate the difference at first. Feel the tension and length for sheep and the quickness and relaxation for ship and sit. It's recommended to record your speech and listen for any unintended elongation or shortening when practicing such pairs. So, record yourself saying, "Did the sheep sit on the ship?" Listen back. Can you hear the difference clearly?
Another challenging pair mentioned in linguistic analyses of non-native English is oo, as in pull or book, versus oo, as in pool or blue.
Let's try. Don't pull him into the pool. For pull, for this sound, your tongue is high and towards the back of your mouth, but it's relatively lax or relaxed. Your lips are rounded, but not tightly protruded. It's a short, lax sound. P, l. Think of good or foot. For pool, this U sound, your tongue is also high and back, but it's more tense and perhaps a bit higher and farther back than for Your lips are more rounded and protruded, more puckered. It's a longer, tense sound. Pool. Think of food or shoe.
So, in the sentence, don't pull, short, lax, less lip rounding, him into the pool, long, tense, more lip rounding. Again, exaggeration is your friend when you're starting out. The contrast is key. The detailed phonetic descriptions involving tongue position, lip rounding, tension, and length are crucial for learners to grasp these distinctions.
Moving to consonants, the th sounds, the unvoiced th in think, and the voiced th in this are legendary troublemakers. As several sources point out, these are frequently replaced by sounds like T, D, S, or Z, primarily because these specific dental fricative sounds don't exist in many other languages. Detailed sentence explanation 3. I think this is the 13th reason.
Let's tackle this.
I think this is the 13th reason. For the unvoiced think, thinka, gently place the tip of your tongue lightly between your upper and lower front teeth, or just barely touching the back of your upper front teeth. Then, push air out smoothly between your tongue and upper teeth. There should be no voice, no vibration in your vocal cords, just a stream of air, like a soft F, but with the tongue, th, ink. This technique is often recommended in pronunciation guides. For the voiced this, is, the tongue position is exactly the same as for th. The only difference is that now you engage your vocal cords, creating a vibrating buzzing sound. You should feel it in your throat. Th, is. This distinction is also commonly taught. The word the, isa, also uses this voiced the. And 13th, thinkteenth, is a double whammy. It starts with an unvoiced th and ends with an unvoiced th.
So, putting it all together, I think, air only, this, buzz, is the buzz, 13th, air only at the start and end. Practice feeling for that vibration for voiced th and just airflow for unvoiced f. Using a mirror can help you check your tongue position.
Next up, the American R and L sounds. It's noted that these are often confused, particularly by speakers of some Asian languages, like Japanese, leading to potential misunderstandings, like light for right. Detailed sentence explanation 4. Laura really likes the red lorry.
Consider the sentence, Laura really likes the red lorry. For the American R, as in red, really, lorry, this is a tricky one because it's quite different from R sounds in many other languages. The key is that your tip of your tongue does not touch the roof of your mouth. Instead, the body of your tongue bunches up and pulls back, or the tip curls slightly upward and backward, retroflex. Your lips might be slightly rounded. Red, really. This description aligns with common phonetic advice. For the L, as in Laura likes lorry, this is called a light L at the beginning of syllables. The tip of your tongue makes firm contact with the alveolar ridge, that bumpy part just behind your upper front teeth. Air flows around the sides of your tongue. Laura likes. This is also standard phonetic guidance.
The contrast is crucial. For R, no tongue tip contact at the front. For L, definite tongue tip contact. Let's try Laura, L contact, R no contact, really, R no contact, L contact, likes, L contact, the red, R no contact, lorry, L contact, R no contact. This one takes a lot of practice and careful listening. The ability to hear these differences, or auditory discrimination, is foundational before one can consistently produce them. If a learner cannot perceive I and E as distinct, for example, production will be challenging.
Beyond individual sounds, American English has a distinct music, its rhythm and melody. This is heavily influenced by stress. As some guides point out, incorrectly stressing syllables can completely alter the meaning of words or make your speech sound unnatural. A classic example is noun-verb pairs like object, noun, stress on the first syllable, versus object, verb, stress on the second syllable.
Detailed sentence explanation 5. Can you present the present to the client? Let's try this sentence. Can you present the present to the client? The verb present has the stress on the second syllable, sent. This means sent is longer, louder, and often slightly higher in pitch. The first syllable, pre, is unstressed, so its vowel is reduced to a schwa, or a short I sound. So it's present or present. The noun present has the stress on the first syllable, pre. This syllable is prominent. The second syllable, sent, is unstressed, and its vowel is reduced to a schwa, So it's present.
So the full sentence, can you present, strong second syllable, the present, strong first syllable, to the client? Some sources suggest emphasizing the stressed syllable by clapping or tapping while speaking to internalize the rhythm, which can be really helpful. Then there's sentence stress. In American English, we tend to stress content words, nouns, main verbs, adjectives, and adverbs more than function words like articles, prepositions, pronouns, and auxiliary verbs. This creates the characteristic rhythm. Detailed sentence explanation 6. She went to the store for some bread. The stressed words here are went, store, and bread. These are the words carrying the most important information. They will be slightly longer, louder, and clearer. The function words, she, to, the, for, some, are unstressed. They are spoken more quickly, often with reduced vowel sounds, like the schwa, and they link smoothly together.
The rhythm would be something like the dum-dum-da-dum-da-dum. Practice saying it with that rhythm, emphasizing the capitalized words. This is fundamental to sounding natural in American English, as it's noted that speaking English with a dramatically different timing pattern can make speech difficult to understand. The interconnectedness of these phonological features is significant. For instance, vowel reduction in unstressed syllables is a direct consequence of stress patterns, contributing to the overall rhythm.
Native American English speakers don't usually speak word by word, with clear pauses in between. Instead, words flow together smoothly in what we call connected speech. This involves linking sounds and often reducing or changing certain sounds, as described in guides on pronunciation challenges. For instance, common reductions like want to becoming wanna or going to becoming gonna. Let's analyze I'm gonna try to link these words.
Let's analyze. I'm gonna try to link these words. Gonna. This is the common relaxed pronunciation of going to. The owing of going often reduces to just ga, and to reduces to na, or even just after the n. So going to becomes ga-na. Try to. This can often sound like trita or trita. The T in to can become a flap T or tap T, which sounds like a quick D, when it's between vowel sounds or a vowel and an R or L. And the vowel in to reduces to a schwa, So try to becomes try-da. Link these. When a word ends in a consonant sound and the next word begins with a vowel sound, the consonant often links smoothly to the vowel, as if they are part of the same syllable. For example, link it. Even with consonant-to-consonant linking, like link these, the flow is important. Avoid a choppy separation. Link these rather than link, pause, these.
So the whole phrase flows
I'm gonna try to link these words. It's much faster and smoother than saying each word distinctly. Some exercises focus on reduced sounds, and the schwa sound, being the most common reduced vowel in English, is particularly important to master for natural speech. Understanding L1 interference as a systematic application of known rules to a new language, rather than a defect, can help learners approach these new patterns with less anxiety.
Finally, let's talk about intonation. As many sources highlight, intonation is the rise and fall of your voice pitch during speech. It's like the melody of a song. It's incredibly important in American English because it conveys emotion, emphasis, and grammatical meaning, such as distinguishing between a statement and a question. It's also warned that non-native speakers often use flat intonation, which can make sentences sound robotic or convey unintended meanings. Some analyses add that non-native speakers might have a narrower pitch range or mark emphasis with extra length instead of pitch variation, which is different from typical American English patterns.
Let's look at a few examples, drawing from common pronunciation guidance. Statement intonation, falling. It's sunny outside. For most statements, your pitch will start at a mid-level, perhaps rise slightly on the main stressed word, sunny, and then fall at the very end of the sentence on outside. This falling pitch signals completeness. Yes-no question intonation, rising. Is it raining? For questions that can be answered with a yes or no, the pitch generally rises towards the end, often with a noticeable lift on the last stressed syllable or the very last syllable, raining. This rising pitch signals question. WH question intonation, usually falling, where are you going? Questions starting with who, what, where, when, why, or how typically have a falling intonation at the end, much like statements. The main emphasis and highest pitch often fall on the WH word or the main verb, and then the pitch descends.
Practicing these different contours is key. You can try drawing the pitch movement with your hand as you speak. Rising and falling intonation mimicry is often suggested as an essential exercise. Listen to native speakers and try to copy not just their words, but their vocal melody.
Now that we've dissected some key sounds and patterns, let's talk about how to practice effectively. One of the most powerful and holistic techniques recommended in various accent training resources is shadowing.
Shadowing is essentially active mimicry. You listen to a native speaker and try to repeat what they say almost simultaneously or with a very slight delay. The goal isn't just to copy the words, but to match their pronunciation, their rhythm, their intonation, the entire package.
How do you do it? It's suggested to pick a short audio or video clip, perhaps from a podcast like this one, a news broadcast, or a scene from an ATV show. It's a good idea to choose content where speakers use a general American accent to avoid confusion. Listen to one sentence or phrase, pause the audio, and then immediately repeat it, trying to emulate everything you heard. Then, for an extra challenge, try to speak along with the speaker in real time. Don't aim for perfection right away. Focus on capturing the overall flow and melody.
We touched on minimal pairs earlier when discussing vowels, those word pairs like ship, sheep, or bat-pat that differ by only a single sound. As multiple sources emphasize, practicing these is fantastic for fine-tuning both your listening discrimination, your ability to hear the subtle differences, and your speaking precision.
You can find extensive lists of minimal pairs online or in accent training materials. The key is to say both words aloud, clearly differentiating the target sounds. Recording yourself during these drills and then listening back critically to compare your pronunciation of the two sounds is also strongly recommended.
And let's not forget tongue twisters. These are suggested as a fun and effective way to force your mouth to articulate clearly and practice specific challenging sounds. For example, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers is great for the P sound and various vowels, or for those tricky TH sounds,
33 thirsty thieves thought that they thrilled the throne. Start slowly, focusing on accuracy, then gradually increase your speed.
This next tip, Eris, is often a game changer for learners. Consistently record yourself speaking. Your smartphone is all you need. You can read a passage from a book, practice the sentences we've discussed today, do your minimal pair drills, or even just talk freely about your day. This is a recurring theme in many pronunciation guides.
Then comes the crucial part, Lena. Listen back and listen critically. It might feel a bit awkward at first. Most of us don't love the sound of our own recorded voice. But as the self-recording playback analysis exercise suggests, this is how you start to objectively identify your own pronunciation patterns, your strengths, and the specific areas you need to focus on. You'll catch things you simply don't notice while you're in the act of speaking. Comparing your recording to a native speaker model can be incredibly insightful. The synergy of different exercise types is important. A balanced workout incorporating various approaches targets different aspects of accent acquisition for a more holistic improvement.
It's also important to remember that speaking is a physical act involving precise muscle coordination. Just like an athlete warms up, you can warm up your speech muscles. Exercises like exaggerated vowel stretching, slowly saying sounds like ah, E, and oo, holding each for 3 to 5 seconds, really feeling the stretch and movement in your lips, jaw, and tongue are often suggested. And for those particularly challenging consonants like R, L, and the TH sounds, tongue position drills are recommended. This involves consciously practicing the correct tongue position for each sound in isolation, then in simple words to build that crucial muscle memory we talked about earlier. For example, for the L sound, practice placing your tongue tip against the ridge behind your upper teeth, then saying la, la, la. Light, level. Consistency is key. Regular, shorter practice sessions are often more effective than infrequent, long ones, much like the idea of a daily accent workout.
That's so true. And unfortunately, as research reveals, some non-native speakers encounter what's known as accent stigma. This can manifest as negative reactions, biased judgments, or even discrimination based purely on their accent. This stigma can lead to very real psychological distress, including feelings of fear, anxiety, shame, reduced self-efficacy, and can unfortunately make it harder to integrate into a new culture.
It's vital to remember, as we discussed earlier, that your accent is a part of your unique story and identity. The goal of accent modification, from our perspective, is to add a valuable tool to your communication toolkit, to make your message clearer and your interactions smoother, particularly in contexts where Gen Am is advantageous. It's not about erasing who you are or devaluing your linguistic heritage. In fact, as some sources suggest, increased clarity often leads directly to increased confidence, which is incredibly empowering. This improved clarity and confidence can, in turn, reduce the likelihood or impact of accent stigma as communication becomes smoother and the speaker feels more empowered.
And once you're feeling more confident with the fundamental sounds and rhythms of American English, incorporating some common American idioms can be a great way to make your speech sound even more natural and fluent. Idioms, as you probably know, are those colorful phrases where the overall meaning isn't obvious from the literal meanings of the individual words.
For example, if a task is a piece of cake, it means it's very easy. If you spill the beans, you're revealing a secret. Or if you need to bite the bullet, it means you have to endure an unavoidable, unpleasant situation.
Exactly. Many resources provide extensive lists of these. We'll include a small digestible list of some very common ones with their meanings and example sentences in our show notes for you to explore. A fantastic way to learn idioms authentically is by paying attention when you're listening to native speakers in conversations or when watching movies and TV shows. You'll start noticing them everywhere.
Learning idioms is not just about vocabulary, it's about understanding cultural nuances and shared references, which can signal a deeper level of cultural integration. And that brings us towards the end of our deep dive today.